So today, I will be the one to describe what kind of sector the entire company is in. First, let's look at what is written on the cover of our first PPT. Secure, compliant, and guaranteed. On-chain aggregation, ANT.FUN. The security and compliance mentioned here is what I will mention to you later. Our company is a globally established legal and compliant company with full financial licenses. Then on-chain aggregation, as the name suggests, what we do is a decentralized sector. And what do we use as? With Wallet 3 wallet as the underlying layer to build an all-in-one aggregated decentralized trading platform. So why do we use a wallet as the underlying layer to develop this decentralized sector? Now let's look at this image. The image on the top right. This person, I believe anyone in the crypto circle, everyone knows him, right? He is the richest Chinese person in our blockchain industry, named Zhang, known online as ZZ. At the end of August last year, he went to Hong Kong University for a finance forum. He mentioned a viewpoint that in the next 5 to 10 years, he said, what will definitely surpass finance must be the DEX sector. What is referred to here is the decentralized exchange sector. And what we at ANT.FUN are doing today is exactly this kind of sector. And he also mentioned that with the improvement of people's understanding of wallets, in another 3 to 5 years, maybe this wallet will be as popular as WeChat. This is what the richest man predicted for the sector we are in today. The second one is the person below named Xingchen, who is currently the boss of China's OK Exchange. The founder is named Xingchen. He also mentioned a viewpoint at the Singapore summit in October last year. And what is this viewpoint? It is called everything can be put on chain. And everything can be put on chain, as the name suggests, means all traditional financial real-world assets will be put on chain in the future. I don't know if you have been following the news lately. A few days ago, 3 or 4 days ago, the US, the entire $150 trillion of traditional financial products have all entered the countdown to going on chain. Which means in the future, US NASDAQ stocks, precious metals, futures, trusts, crude oil, treasury, bonds, and so on. All of these assets will have to go on chain. And that also means what kind of medium is needed for storage. Does that mean we need a W3 wallet today? And the underlying layer of what we do at ANT.FUN today is a W3 wallet. So today we have 2 people who carry immense weight in the blockchain space, both pointing to the same thing we are doing at ANT.FUN. So we know that this sector we are in today has a very bright future. So choose to work hard, everyone. Okay, so why is more and more centralized traffic migrating to this decentralized sector? Let's look at how we used to be in the secondary market, like Bro. Right? This is also called what? A centralized exchange. Now, if we go to the secondary market to trade coins and spot, can we still buy any 100 times or 1000 times coins? It is almost impossible. But today, on our ANT.FUN platform, we have opportunities at different stages. Because in the primary market, we can buy what? 100 times coins, 1000 times coins, or even 10,000 times coins, isn't it? Last year, the closest one to us was Zhang, right? The Chinese meme coin was born in October last year. So Zhang surged 10,000 times within 3 days, right? This is why opportunities only exist in the primary market, right? And that includes Trump coin as well, which went up over 400 times. So you will find that our primary market periodically has these kinds of wealth code opportunities. So this is also why more and more centralized traffic is migrating to decentralized platforms. Okay, so what exactly is the difference between the two? The so-called centralized exchanges are what we come into contact with today, like OX Bicon, Whitecoin, and so on and so forth. In other words, before we encountered the ANT.FUN trading platform today, 99% of past exchanges were collectively referred to as centralized exchanges. So what exactly is the difference between them and our category? First, look at the registration method. There is a big difference. As for the registration method, for the past BLV, didn't we have to use phone, email, and upload ID cards for KYC, right? But today, with our on-chain decentralized trading platform, we don't need any personal information, nor do we need to upload ID cards for real name authentication. So doesn't this make the user's assets more private, more secure? And the private key is self-custodied by us, which is very important, right? Second, our asset storage method is different. Today, on centralized exchanges, all of our assets must be deposited into the platform before you can trade normally. In other words, the assets you see in the backend are just numbers. So where did our actual assets go? They have already entered Bro's master wallet address. This is what we call data opacity. As for what they do with these assets, we don't know. It is just like when we deposit money in a bank. What the bank does with the money, do we know? We don't know either. Yes. So precisely because of this data opacity, what do centralized exchanges often do? Don't they often make some sneaky moves? Whenever there is extreme market behavior, they insert pins on the charts, targeted liquidation, including modifying K-lines in the middle of the night. These are some sneaky moves that centralized exchanges often do in the futures contract track. Therefore, their credit rating keeps declining, which is also why more users are slowly migrating to our decentralized trading platform. Because all data of our assets is open and transparent. Our assets are all self-custodied. Since we manage them ourselves, the platform cannot touch a single penny of ours today. So this is the second difference. And the third one is what I mentioned earlier. One is the secondary market. The other is the primary market. Then we definitely prefer to play in the primary market because the primary market has more wealth effects or opportunities for wealth codes. So these few minutes are mainly to distinguish what kind of exchange we are. What are we doing? That is, ANTFUN is working on the direction of the next generation exchange, working on a decentralized trend-setting track. This is not what I said. It was said by the two people above. One is the richest person in blockchain, and the other is the owner and CEO of China's largest exchange, right? So are we very clear about what we are doing today? What we are doing is a trend-setting track, doing the next generation exchange. Okay, so our current product is already very mature. After 2 years of accumulation, our current product uses the wallet as the bottom layer, correct? On the basis of the wallet's bottom layer, what have we aggregated? Aggregated this core business. That is, if a company has no profitable business, this kind of company will definitely not last long. Why? Because it has no blood-making capability. Then, whatever track we work on today, we must understand. It must have blood-making capability, especially when it is related to finance. With blood-making capability, this platform can operate for a long, long time. Okay, on this basis, what else do we use? Because our company is an aggregated, decentralized trading platform, isn't it? As long as there is traffic and people come in to trade, then our platform will last. So through the traffic layer, it has built a decentralized, what we call social fi, meaning decentralized social. On our platform, currently, our chat software is also very easy to use, and it is anonymous. Can we hold meetings of 100 people here? Meetings of 1,000 or 10,000 people, and we can speak freely without risk control. Right? At the same time, we have a lot of aggregated information on it, including signal pushes and so on. Later, I will also take 2 to 3 minutes at the end to demonstrate the product to everyone, including the live streaming function we launched recently. I hope our next global overseas meeting can be held on our own platform ANTFUN, in our own live streaming room, where we can interact. The technical advantages of our entire product are also quite obvious. Because currently, can we fetch data through AI, including, do we have smart money tracking, and including bubble charts, including trading strategies. These are all very useful tools on our platform. And then there is our overall experience. The trading experience is very smooth, 0.3 to 0.6 seconds. It goes on chain in seconds. At the same time, we have also solved multi-chain, cross-chain, and other functions. Okay, such a powerful technical product, as we say, definitely also needs a strong technical endorsement. Right? So here we talk about the founding team of our entire company. Speaking of our founding team, we must mention our founder. Our founder's Chinese name is he, Xiaoyang. Born in 82. Graduated from Beijing Institute of Technology in 2004 with a PhD in computer science. He also has a professional technical background, and his past resume is also very brilliant. Let's take a look at Mr. He. In 2008, he went to Beijing to start a business and started his first company called Beijing Lanhai Xingchen Technology Company Limited. At that time, he launched the SaaS software, which also became highly sought after at the time, and he was hailed as the first person of China's Wen-Na-Pin. At that time, this software also won the favor of 3 institutions, which invested $50 million. And in 2016, our company, Lanhai Xingchen, was listed on the new third board with a market value of over $3 billion. At the same time, in 17, 18, and 19, Mr. He entered the blockchain track and built a global public chain. At that time, public chains were the top global trend and also the most profitable track. That public chain was called the Lambda. What main problem did the Lambda public chain solve? It solved the security issue of distributed data storage. So when this concept was introduced, it was empowered by 12 top global institutions, including Big Bang at that time, and then Zhenfen's Xu Xiaoping, Bitmain's Wu Jihang, including Chen Weixing of Fun City Capital, who was also the angel investor in Binance at that time. And eventually, this token was listed on over 50 exchanges globally, including Huobi, the hardest exchange to get listed on in mainland China at that time. And later, it got listed on OE and also on Upperbit, Coinin, and so on. The market cap once soared to over $3 billion US, which is over 20 billion RMB, ranking in the top 30 globally, a great result of 28th place. Putting a public chain, just like the Fortune Global 500, we were ranked in the top 30 globally in this kind of position. So today, I don't want to talk about how much market cap we achieved back then. But what is the key point I want to analyze with you today? Imagine today what the blockchain background was like back in 2017, 18, and 19. That is, after China's the 4th of September incident in 2017, right? Exchanges began to clear out and exit, which also meant that the entire blockchain entered a crypto winter. Mainstream coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum were cut in half, right? So under that kind of background, our Lambda token bucked the trend and grew its market cap by 50 times. Meaning the token price rose 50 times. Why was that? So this is a topic that triggers a discussion for all of us. And at that time, the Lambda public chain was a top narrative. It was the most profitable track at that time. So it was a trending track. Institutions were willing to pour money in, right? Then, for a track that institutions are willing to invest in, will retail investors follow suit, right? Retail investors will definitely follow. Retail investors will follow. Then the liquidity of this track will be very sufficient, which also laid the foundation for Lambda to break out of the circle today. So today, let's think about ANT.FUN, which was initiated in 2023, polished in 24, and officially launched in 25. Let's think about it. Why did Mr. He start his third business to polish this ANT.FUN product today? Didn't I tell you earlier what kind of track our ANT.FUN is on? We are building a decentralized next generation exchange. We are on a trending track. So our Mr. He polished this product again. So once our product ANT.FUN was launched today, what happened? It immediately received a response from institutional capital, right? First, let's look at who our institutions are. Who are our angel round institutions currently? There is Liu Zhang from ByteDance, right? And Chen Ling, the former CEO of Tuqiao, Liu Zhensheng of Xiangjiang Group, and the founder of Asia's largest art trading platform. These people all participated in our angel round investment in their personal capacity. Then, on the 3rd of August last year, we officially secured our institutional series round, and the Series A was led by the Funman Fund under Adrian Cheng, one of Hong Kong's 4 major families. Our platform. And currently, we are also in this Mr. Adrian Cheng. He works in the office building at the New World Tower, right? And Adrian Cheng, at the same time, holds positions in 2 listed companies, as well as the domestic Chow Tai Fook Jewelry, the boss of Chow Tai Fook, which sells gold like this. Then, on the 15th of October last year, we completed our Series B1 round. And the Series B1 was Military Capital, which is a traditional USD VC, and they have also invested in many domestic companies. For example, audio software, 喜马拉雅, fandom reading, including promoting many internet celebrities like Li Jiaqi beauty products, right? So this is Heijin Capital. Its positioning of AI plus also fits well with us. Then on the 8th of January of this year, we officially obtained the Solana Foundation again. We became an incubation project of its ecosystem accelerator, which means from the 8th of January of this year, ANTFUN officially broke out of the circle. Before the 8th of January, our entire user base, public domain plus private domain, all registrations were around 200,000. But now our total user base has exceeded 4 million. So in just half a year, actually we can give the company a round of applause here. So what makes me quite excited recently is several top institutions have successively participated in boosting the platform. For example, at 5 p.m. on the 12th of March of this year, we officially got support from two other institutions. One is Hill House Capital in Series B2 and SIG Capital in Series B3. Hill House Capital as a top domestic institution in our country. Who did they invest in? They invested in Pinduoduo, invested in Qiaohongshu, and so on. Invested in many of our domestic enterprises. And SIG is a top US VC from the 80s, established in 1987. Currently, it accounts for 1/4 of the market makers in the US. And it's most successful. It entered China in 2005. SIG Susquehanna International Group invested in about 300 domestic companies. Among them, the most successful one is the investment in ByteDance. It was an early major shareholder of ByteDance. Now imagine ByteDance's current valuation is $550 billion. $550 billion US dollars, ranking just between Tencent and Alibaba, with an annual net profit of over 40 billion. So would such an enterprise and institution invest in ANTFUN? Why would they invest in ANTFUN? So there is a history behind this, which is 10 years ago, when our Mr. He's company, Nanhai Xuntong, was 1 or 2 years away from listing in 2016. SIG approached our Mr. He. At that time, they had communicated with our Mr. He. At that time, we had already taken money from 3 other institutions, right? $50 million US dollars from Matrix Partners, Chiming Venture Partners, and Xingchen Capital. So we missed the opportunity for cooperation back then. But today, 10 years later, SIG still wants to invest in our ANTFUN. What is the reason? Institutions will not offer help in times of need. What will they do? They will only add icing on the cake. So today, what is SIG looking at? They are looking at the next 3 to 5 years, the track that our ANTFUN is in, because we are building the next generation exchange, working on a decentralized trend-setting track. So today, SIG is investing in our track. And of course, what else is SIG investing in? Investing in our Mr. He's personal IP, because Mr. He is one of the few who succeeded twice consecutively, once in the AT industry, and at the same time succeeded in building supply chains in the blockchain track. A double champion. So they are also investing in Mr. He himself. Okay. And recently, we received investments from 5 VC institutions. $5 million US dollars. All of these have been made public. Well, the things I'm talking about today, whether it is Mr. He's personal resume or the institutional empowerment and comprehensive investment in our ANTFUN platform, today, can we verify through authoritative third-party institutions why the projects we did in the past might have been harvested? What is the reason? Because a lot of this information is packaged, ambiguous, and ultimately unverifiable. So that led to the final situation of being harvested. But for the things we say about ANTFUN today, everyone can verify them through authoritative third-party institutions. One is LotDate, one is Blockbits. Then LotDate is just like a Kichacha company we have in mainland China today. If you want to check a company's legal representative, check equity, check affiliations, you can check it through Kichacha. But for enterprises on the chain today, where do we go to check? Just go to this third-party authority, LotDate, to check. If you input it, our relevant official disclosures will pop up. That means this thing is real, including Blockbits, which is the most authoritative media in the Chinese-speaking blockchain region. This is also a very good channel for verification. That is to say, today a friend around you tells you there is a very awesome, a very authoritative project. Chang Zhang also invested, or that President Trump also invested. Then you just input it into these 2 apps. If there are official disclosures, it represents its authenticity and is relatively more reliable. If there is no official disclosure, his project must be a shitcoin project, then it is not worth our time and energy.
Okay.
So speaking of this, maybe everyone doesn't quite understand our mainland China policies. But that is why, no matter which country we are in today, we must abide by the law. We must do what? Do compliant projects. We need to spend this money with dignity. So today, our minister, he laid out the compliance track in advance 2 years ago. So currently, we are in Hong Kong, including the US, Canada, Australia, and Thailand, including South Korea next, where real physical operation centers will be established, and then with a real corporate organizational structure. And our parent company is in Cayman, with 5 BVI subsidiaries above it. So why do we need to establish BVI subsidiaries? These companies are all set up in the Virgin Islands, British Virgin Islands. It is a type of offshore company, which means protecting our shareholders. Some shareholders may not want to disclose their identities. BVI shareholders do not have to disclose their identities, and Cayman serves as our parent company. In the future, we will package some data like Hong Kong, US, Canada, Vietnam, which is the global real physical user data and transaction data. Eventually, all must be packaged into the parent company for an overall listing in the market. So this is our equity structure. Now that we talk about listing, as a financial company, do we need a financial license? Definitely need a financial license. So currently, we have obtained 3 US financial licenses. First, we obtained the MSB license issued by the U.S. Department of the Treasury. This is an anti-money laundering license, also a payment transaction license, a cross-border payment license. And the second one, what we got issued by the U.S. SEC is the RIA license. RIA is an asset management license. And the third one, we also obtained a STO license issued by the U.S. SEC. And this STO is a security token offering license. So the threshold for this license will get higher and higher in the future. The value is also very high. So what does this mean? This license means it can now be the hottest track we are talking about today. A track where BlackRock has invested $300 billion USD. What's track? Just the RBOA track we are talking about today. The RBOA track, translated in Chinese, is called Real World Asset Tokenization. This is also why recently our ANT platform can launch how many types on our platform? Currently, there are over 300 types, right? Which are these US stocks, precious metals, crude oil, gold, futures, and so on, right? Can we trade all of them on our platform? It is because we obtained this license. Then, in the future, 150 trillion US dollars of such financial products will all be on-chain. Then, in the future, can our company carry a larger volume of these digital assets? Then these digital assets will circulate and trade on our platform. Will our platform make money? Very, very profitable. Okay? And at the same time, we also obtained what? The Australian DC license. So what does a DC license mainly solve? An OTC off-exchange business for exchanging between cryptocurrency and fiat currency. And recently, didn't we, a few days ago, officially open the application channel for UCard? Because on the 30th of October last year, we fully acquired a company, iPay, this goldfish wallet. So now we can start applying for our own UCard in the backend. With this UCard, we can withdraw and exchange globally. In the future, no matter how much USDT you earn or how much under platform token you earn, you can withdraw and exchange globally through UCard. Very good. In mainland China, you can also bind it to Alipay. At the same time, we have also obtained the Canadian MSB license. And around October this year, before the end of the year, we will also get a MiCA license issued by the EU. At that time, we will launch in all 27 countries of Europe this cryptocurrency service. At that time, we will become a global cross-border digital currency company, serving users worldwide. Speaking of this, basically, the fundamentals of ANT.FUN have been reported to everyone. Now, let me review it for everyone. First, what does our ANT.FUN do? It is building the next generation exchange, building a decentralized trend track. At the same time, our product has already landed. It is not telling you what to do in the future, but rather the future product has already landed, already developed and launched, and it is very smooth. Meanwhile, our founding team has succeeded twice in a row, not crossing the river by feeling the stones, right? Thirdly, our entire all-star lineup of institutions empowers our platform, right? Whether traditional or blockchain, Solana Foundation, right? And also our global lending, compliant lending. So today we say this platform, ANT.FUN, has a relatively good gene
it has the potential to grow big and strong, right? Then, for a platform like this, how do we participate? How do we make money? Speaking of this, I don't know if there are some capital promotion platforms overseas. Like today, in many of our domestic industries, just like Didi, Meituan, Ele.me, they all belong to Web 2.0 platforms. Today, these platforms driven by capital have achieved huge success. Let me make the simplest analogy. In China today, we once had a period around 2014 when taxi rides were free. No money needed. I believe there are many similar platforms overseas with institutions earning money. But think about it. At that time, Didi as a solution to the pain point of difficulty in hailing a taxi during urban commute peak hours. Then institutions invested money in him. And after investing, in those 2 or 3 years, Didi burned nearly 30 billion RMB. So ultimately, Didi, this was a company with not a single car. And under the circumstance of having no users, slowly accumulated over half a year. Now we look at Didi. Didi now has 4 to 5 million private cars working for it nationwide. It takes a 25% cut from every order with a daily transaction volume of about 1 billion, amounting to 300 to 400 billion a year. So would you say this kind of company makes money? Extremely profitable. Now the entire market value of Didi is over 100 billion, which means although it burned 20 to 30 billion in the early stages, today after a period of time, it has users, a platform, and so much private car and user data locking in tens of billions. Then suddenly, the company became valuable. So today, the strategy of our ANTFUN is also a capital strategy. Just imagine, has our product not already been launched after more than 2 years? And then, we raised so much money from institutions, so everything is ready. Only missing what? The product is ready. The money has come. What is missing now? Is it not missing all of you sitting here? Is it not missing users? So today, what is it doing with the money? Burning money for subsidies. What is it subsidizing? Subsidizing our transaction fees today. Because our platform is an aggregated trading platform. Trading will generate transaction fees. Today, if you trade on any platform, will there be transaction fees? Definitely, yes. No matter which centralized exchange in the world you trade on, there are transaction fees. It is just that if you come to our ANTFUN platform, not only do we not charge transaction fees, we return them to you, and even return them to you double, which is what we call the double transaction mining method today, returning double the transaction fees to you. At this point, would users be willing to come? No, many people might have doubts. They say, I am already trading fine on Binance or OKX, and I'm already used to it. Why should I come to your platform to trade? This brings us to what I popularized to everyone in the first 3 to 5 minutes of the opening. Because what we are building is a decentralized trading platform. And today, all of our assets are in our own pockets, right? Because of private key self-custody. So the assets are all on our own chain. And that means I believe no one is willing to put their money into someone else's pocket, right? So this is the current pain point. And also the reason why centralized credit ratings are declining more and more, right? And secondly, do we have fairness? Which is data transparency. There is no such thing as pulling the network plug or price wicking. So the second is being fairer. Thirdly, we are a primary market with more opportunities to make money. So being safer, fairer, and having more opportunities to make money. Plus, I return double your transaction fees. Would you say you'd accept this? I believe no one would refuse. So today, the double transaction fee return we are doing is played out like this. For example, if 1,000 USD is generated, right? Then the platform will ultimately give you 2,000 USD. And the daily yield rate is 0.7%, paid once every 4 days, which is 2.8%. Every 4 days is equivalent to a monthly return of 21%. And this is just for a single account. If we set up multiple accounts, the monthly return could be over 30%. Then with compound interest, it is 16 to 20 times in a year. This is the overall gameplay of our current transaction mining. So if you feel this platform is reliable, long-term, and stable today, with a monthly return of over 20%, I think it is also pretty good. Then what would I do at this time? I would let more friends around me and relatives, let them participate together to enjoy this wave of institutional funding, dividends, right? The dividend period. Then, if we promote it today, it will also give us transaction fee commission rebates. Because since we trade, transaction fees will definitely be generated. Then, once transaction fees are generated, the platform will use them to distribute the entire ratio to everyone. For example, our promotional transaction fee rebate is 20%. divided into direct and indirect relationships. 15% direct, 5% indirect. Then the second income is when we go beyond 2 generations, which is the team award we are talking about today. On our platform, it is called contribution value. So for this contribution value of transaction fees, you reach a certain percentage accordingly, and you become an agent, just a different term. As for agents, we have 7 levels in total, A1, A2, all the way to a 7, which are 3%, 8% up to a maximum of 24% for this transaction fee rebate. At the same time, it also has corresponding override and statistics bonuses. These are all from the transaction fee ratio. I won't elaborate further. Then we also have global dividends. When you become an agent of a 2 or above, our company will take out 5% of global dividends to give to everyone. And this 5% dividend is not just from your own team's mining. It includes the global public domain, private domain, and all transaction fees generated in the ecosystem are related to us. So when we become a 2, it is equivalent to us being shareholders of this company. As long as you are an agent of a 2 or above, you are a shareholder of the company. It is like we are co-running the exchange. All global transaction fees generated are related to us. They are all related. Our company today is truly doing real work. We are burning institutional money, not relying on pulling money from the market. This is an essential difference, you see. All right, let's continue. So today, whether it is the double rebate of our transaction fees or promotional income, what is given? What is given is our ANTFUN platform token, which is the facade of our exchange. This token, it is not giving you air, because once this token comes out, it can be cashed out instantly. It can be instantly cashed out into USDT. So currently, let's take a look at the tokenomics of the token. First of all, our total supply is 100 million. 85% burned, 10% liquidity and market incentives, 5% for investors and institutions, and 0 for the remaining team. Our team has a great vision, holding no chips in hand, giving everything to the market. Now, don't think 100 million is a lot, because next, what will our company do? We will undergo extreme deflation, deflating to 2.1 million, which means our quantity will undergo an extreme deflation of 50 times. Yes, 50 times. Then you will find that for those centralized trading platforms in the past, as long as it is their platform token, its multiplier won't be low, easily reaching hundreds of times. Even like the private sale price of Binance Exchange's token was 10 cents. And last year, it rose to a maximum of 1,375 USD, which is an increase of over 13,000 times. Right? So, do you all have an expectation in mind? Others easily get hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands of times increase. So what about our ANTFUN today? If our supply is extremely deflated by 50 times, how does it deflate? First, we have a contract pool with a fixed daily burn of 3 million. At the same time, we also have a second business buyback burn and destruction, divided into 2 phases. In the first phase, we take 70% of all transaction fees, the platform's revenue today, targeted for buybacks, sent to the black hole according to the token swaps, where the burn limit is up to 4 billion and 4.5 billion over there, making it 8.5 billion here. Phase 2, as the company's public chain business continues to grow, along with AI business and all secondary market revenues, all of which will then be used for buybacks again, until our deflation value reaches 210 million. Deflating from 10 billion to 210 million. Okay, so for this deflation, all of this data and this black hole address have already been announced globally. So today, I took a quick look. It is already close to 1.5 billion, meaning the burned and destroyed ANTFUN tokens are close to 1.5 billion. 1.5 billion. So this is also a very, very massive burn mechanism, and the speed is very fast. Therefore, what do we say about ANTFUN next? A $10 billion market cap is just around the corner. Why do we dare to say this today? Why can we easily reach $10 billion with relatively high certainty? Let's take a look at products of the same type, just like our decentralized one, and make a comparison. First, let's look at these version 1.0 spot matching platforms on major public chains, like Jupiter, including Pancake and Uniswap, which are all on major public chains. They also once had a $10 billion market cap, and still have billions of dollars now. Then, in the past year or two, some rising stars among decentralized platforms emerged. For example, like Hyperliquid, which does decentralized contracts, and ANTFUN does too. As for this Hyperliquid, let me briefly tell you, this company has 11 people in total, 7 on technology and 4 on operations. Its founder, Jeff, is of Chinese descent. So why did he want to start decentralized contracts today? It is because centralized contracts don't play by the rules and have no moral boundaries, right? They pull the plug and manipulate prices at any moment. So he founded Hyperliquid today, and it was immediately validated by the market, right? This year, just last month, how much did its peak market cap break through? 75 billion USD. This data was from a while ago, 59 billion. So, ANTFUN is a platform invested in by Binance. So, in these 2 decentralized contract tracks, we ANTFUN also have them. We have also launched them now. Then Action is a mini track for trading meme coins, and this company has been founded for about over a year. Now, its valuation has also broken 10 billion USD, and Polymarket in the prediction track, now valued at 15 billion. Now, look at things like the World Cup. This exchange is very profitable. Prediction means everything can be predicted. So today, our ANTFUN, everyone take a look. All of these subsectors can achieve a valuation of tens of billions of dollars in 1 or 2 years, or even high tens of billions of dollars in valuation. Then what kind of platform is our ANT on? As mentioned earlier, ANT is a fully aggregated category, which means these subsectors, as our ANT platform, have every single one of them today, right? Whether it is spot trading, decentralized contracts, mini, prediction, including our US stock sector, are they all online now? So what is our valuation today? Our total supply is 10 billion tokens, and the current price is less than 0.035, which means our current fully diluted market cap is only $350 million. So, is there a huge room for our market cap to grow in the future? Personally, I think it is very large. So today, if we just do 10 times, just do how much? Just reach 2 or 3 billion. And that is it. Right. So this is inevitable. Inevitable. It is just whether next is October, or maybe at the end of the year, once a mini bull market comes, we will break through 100-fold, reaching 10 to 20 billion. I think 10 to 20 billion for our company. I personally feel that we are the world's first for a fully aggregated category. We are very, very certain that we can reach 10 to 20 billion, up to 20 billion. That means we have at least 100-fold upside potential for our platform operations. Then if we want to reach 50 to 60 billion, we need to reach a market cap of 200 to 300 times for the platform token. Then we need time to settle down. We need to grow, right? Just like we have a saying in mainland China, you can't get fat with one bite, right? It takes time to settle. But as long as what ANTFUN is doing is a trend-setting sector, we will definitely have the opportunity to become a $100 billion super unicorn enterprise in the future. Why do we say today that we are very likely to become a $100 billion company? Because in the blockchain industry, I just mentioned CZ earlier, isn't it? CZ, this Binance exchange reached a peak market cap of $180 billion last year, which is over 1 trillion RMB. And today, he even said it himself, that the only thing that can surpass Binance in the future is the decentralized exchange platform sector, right? And what we are doing today is this sector. Okay, next, I will explain to you why our ANTFUN token will spiral upward next. First, let's look at the staking mining we recently launched, which is the Genesis node. I took a look at the backend this afternoon, and currently, there are already 62 applicants for the Genesis node. One of them is from the ecosystem side, who staked 140 million. So how many tokens must each Genesis node stake at least? They need to stake 1 million ANTFUN tokens. Staking 1 million ANTFUN tokens, how much did 62 of them stake? They staked 62 million. Plus the 140 million from the ecosystem. That is already 200 million here. Plus depositors are making deposits on each Genesis node, enjoying the current annual yield of 60%, right? Right? So is this a good thing for all of us retail investors here? It is absolutely a fantastic thing. Why? Because all the chips in the hands of the whales are what? Locked up by smart contracts, right? At least he also has to control it for 120 days. This is a very big benefit for us. This is a very big benefit for the whole company. Okay. This is the first logic for the price increase. So as everyone sees recently, how the price will keep going higher and higher. And in the future, all ecological parties, including these large holders in the secondary market, they all want to participate in this impact of the founding node we talked about, impacting the global top 25, and even obtain future equity in our Cayman parent company, as well as a seat on the Hong Kong board of directors. Then everyone will definitely be very willing to strive for it, right? And in this way, we will cause a shortage of tokens in the market. So this is the first logic for the price increase. What about the second one? We have many ecosystems and we have many application scenarios, including that next we might have live stream tipping, opening this chat moments feature, and also using ANT.FUN tokens to pay for consumption. In the future, maybe booking hotels, buying plane tickets, and so on. A series of things. Clothing, food, housing, and transportation can all use ANT.FUN tokens for consumption application scenarios. Very many. And also, around October, we will launch many ecosystems. 3 to 50 ecosystems. Currently, 6 or 7 have launched. And these ecosystems are strongly bound to our ANT.FUN token. All tokens are either used for deduction, or burned, or uses transaction fees, right? All have to use that token. And this is the third logic for the price increase. The last one is also the biggest one. Is the spiral going upward. Why? Because we are already listed on OE, right? Has Mandina been now already listed on OE? OE boss is on OE. All current tokens, liquidity now is not like before, where you could get listed just by paying. Now it doesn't work. Now you must have token holding addresses, have trading volume, have liquidity. Only then is it possible for you to enter alpha or the rocket zone first, before they let you list futures and spot. After we list on OE, immediately followed by listing on Kong, on GE3+1. Basically, we will list on Beyond. That means 500 to 600 million existing users globally will pay attention to our ANT.FUN platform token. Right? Now, OE 120 million, BM 300 plus million, plus second and third tier exchanges will forcibly list our token, which means before October this year, we will be listed on all global top exchanges. By then, these people, they won't be able to buy our company's equity. And then they will watch this token price keep rising. They will find, oh, what kind of token is this token? Oh, upon looking, it belongs to a decentralized trading platform. This token is for the next generation exchange. So many institutional VCs have invested. Even the Solana Foundation, the third largest high-performance public chain in blockchain, has invested. Jinwei also invested. So why can't these people buy equity? They can only hold a large amount of the platform token because it will further drive up the market value of the entire token. So this is its 4 major logics for the price increase. Then, our overall planning for this year, before talking about the planning, let me tell you, over this past half year of ours, according to some small achievements we have made. First, let's look at this column on our left, the green column. We have dominated the Solana popularity rankings in the global top 10 for a long time. Meanwhile, our revenue has exceeded that of our largest competitor. Last year, like in the mini track, who did we surpass? Surpassed ANTFUN. ANTFUN is now valued at 10 billion. Right. And our valuation now is only 300 million. Over 300 million. And our transaction fee revenue. How do we view this transaction fee revenue? Let me switch over and show everyone. Log into our interface backend. Here in the toolbar, there is this tool. Everyone, this tool was not developed by our company. These were developed by third-party authoritative institutions, mainly to track statistics on the real-time status of our platform's transaction fee revenue. It doesn't just track our platform. It also tracks over a dozen decentralized DEX globally like us. Let's click in and take a look. Whether a company can generate its own cash flow is very important, right? If it can't generate cash flow, then it also means this company has no value. And if it has no value, institutions won't invest in you. Then it is a vicious cycle. Then this is just a scheme. But we generate cash flow. And the user base is getting larger and larger. The trading volume is getting larger and larger. So we make more and more money. Then your company has value. And more institutions will invest in you. Then in the future, it will earn for 3 to 5 years. In the future, it is basically this money. So let's look at this platform. Currently, in this tool, within the last 30 days, how much is our platform's current revenue? 16 M. The unit is US dollars, which is 16.07 million US dollars. Just from the 28th of last month to the 28th of this month, currently, our platform's total revenue is 16,070,000 US dollars, which is over 100 million RMB. Revenue in the last 7 days is 3.75 M, which is 3.75 million US dollars. Currently, this one means that across the entire network, in this decentralized 14-DEX track, we are ranked number 1 in the market, accounting for 56.99% of the transaction fee revenue of the entire Solana chain. Then the one below is 1.46B. This is our burned platform token. Currently, B means billion, which means 1 billion. How much have we destroyed so far? Destroyed 1.46 billion. 1.46 billion. And this is the destruction data for the last 30 days. And this is our transaction fee K-line chart. This is the destruction K-line chart. This is the distribution chart. Transaction fee distribution chart. Currently, this chart of ours is the most intuitive. It is what I showed you in the PPT just now. For example, currently we are already ranked in transaction fee revenue within the last 30 days. Number 1 globally in just a short time. So our company is very, very awesome. And this is daily, the daily average and the daily peak, which means our daily average within 30 days, we are equivalent to our platform, having already earned $530,000 with a daily peak close to 1 million. So what is our value today? It is just 4 million registered users and only over 100,000 daily active users. Right. Then with our massive liquidity today, connecting to our platform, by the end of the year, we might reach 20 to 30 million users. When daily active users reach 1.8 million, we won't just be earning $500,000 to $600,000 a day. We might earn $5 to $6 million a day, or even higher. So we are a truly valuable platform. We are on this platform together to make the cake bigger for this platform, creating a co-creation and win-win situation. Let's take a look. This is daily, and look, this day also has over 1 million. And also hundreds of thousands, 200,000 or 300,000, 400,000 or 500,000, even 500,000 or 600,000. So this is the actual transaction statistics of Zhao. All right. Let's continue to look. We also became the first place in the SM category of the entire hackathon. So mastering the technology in our own hands is very, very important. Then in the next 2 or 3 months, our source code will be open to the world. 100% source code open. That also means more capital will favor our company. Then let's take a look. We have also launched the OP Lobster business. And at the same time, our institutional financing for the whole of 26 has already been mentioned to everyone earlier. I won't repeat it here. Then our new round. This institution is the US-based capital company SGRI recommended to us by the Solana Foundation. And look, these institutions don't just invest money in you. What will they do? They will also bring in resources for us, right? So this institutional empowerment is very, very important. Then the entire listing process. I just mentioned it to you earlier, so I won't repeat it. This is a screenshot of our entire Rocky Zone on OKEX. Then as for this Cayman company, the Cayman company, we today listing on NASDAQ as a digital currency exchange. Are we the first one? Obviously, we are not, right? We are not the first to try it. There have already been 2 or 3 successful ones before us. First, let's look at Husky. This is a company founded by Xiaofang, an enterprise in Hong Kong, China. So what does it do? It is also a virtual currency trading platform just like us. Then, let's look at the entire listing benchmarking path. Husky has already succeeded. 18.5 billion HKD, right? Achieving a P ratio of 26 times, nearly. And Coinbase is the largest exchange in the US. And it is also in the compliance track in the US. Its ceiling is the ceiling. And it was listed in 2021, reaching a market value of 112 billion USD. At that time, the P/E ratio was close to over 1,090 times. So the institutions that invested in Coinbase made a fortune, made crazy profits. Then, barring any accidents this year, we will see OKEX before the end of the year, which is the OKEX exchange we are currently listed on. The largest exchange in China will also be listed on NASDAQ. Because currently, IC Intercontinental Exchange, the parent company of the NIZ, has already made a strategic investment of 200 million USD in it, with a current valuation of about 225 billion USD. It is expected that if it lists this year, it might exceed 50 billion USD. So for our ANTFUN platform, we are not crossing the river by feeling the stones. What are we? We have a successful and mature benchmarking path. So we expect that next year, in the 3rd quarter of 2027, we will list as a whole package. Alright? Speaking of this, I usually ask everyone a question, which is about what we often talk about. Why I used to get harvested when doing projects. Why? Because all the projects we participated in used to have financial attributes, right? As long as a project has financial attributes, there will definitely be bubbles. And if there are bubbles, if the bubbles cannot be hedged, eliminated, or transferred, that also means in the end, there is a last batch of people who will be at the bottom. Because the project team cannot be philanthropists. The project team eventually harvests. So today, in the process of promoting the ANTFUN platform, just like DD Chuxing earning 20 to 30 billion in the early stage, it also has bubbles. DD Chuxing also had bubbles back then, 20 to 30 billion, eventually covered by 100 billion market value in the capital market. What about ANTFUN today? Suppose I say we also have bubbles, burning money in public and private domains. Suppose we say 1 billion. Is that okay? Suppose our bubble is 1 billion. If we can hedge and convert this 1 billion bubble, then this 1 billion will eventually turn into profit and then flow back to all the communities of unknown we promote today, or into the hands of users. Is that good? Very good. So how do we solve this problem today? Will ANTFUN eventually go public by the end of next year? As a top decentralized, I won't say leader, we become a top decentralized trading platform. Our market value, and it is an all aggregated category. Other single tracks as mentioned above, aren't they all worth tens of billions or even tens of billions of USD in a year or two? Then for our all aggregated category to reach 10 billion USD, that shouldn't be too much to ask, right? If we achieve 10 billion USD by the end of next year, that means the 1 billion USD bubble we burned in the early stage, can we hedge it? Can it be converted, forming a perfect closed business loop, right? This is our equity path. Then what about the other one? As we just said, don't we also have something else? Another platform token. Can the exchangeable platform token also undergo market value management and be pumped? On one hand, extreme deflation of 50 times. On the other hand, market value management pumping it up 50 times. Isn't that 50 times 50, which is 2,500? Of course, this is a relatively idealized state, 2,500 times. Let's not exaggerate that much. ANTFUN's platform token, even if the FTV remains unchanged, solely relying on the 50 times extreme deflation, our token price can still be pumped 50 times, meaning we can reach a 10 billion market value. A market value of 10 billion USD. Can the company and institutions who definitely have chips in hand, can they also hedge these early stage bubbles, right? So whether ANTFUN goes through the equity path or the token path, can they not form a perfect closed business loop, which is to let the last batch of people, even if the very last person comes in, our platform will at worst let them exit with a 2 times return. This is our confidence in promoting ANTFUN today, right? And it is also why promoting it from the very beginning last year and this year was so difficult, because they really want to get things done to implement this and form a closed loop. From the beginning last year, you see, we only had 500U. People with 500U or 1000U still had to queue up. One person could have at most 2 accounts, right? Last year. So players who participated early understand this very well. Promoting it last year was indeed very difficult. But this year, as the scale of institutional financing grows larger and larger, it is gradually opening up. But people still have to queue up, which shows that institutions are burning money according to plan. Not like you could just come in with 5 million or 10 million at the very beginning last year. Then this company is definitely not here to get things done. So, speaking up to this point today, if everyone can understand this key point, it means we have absolutely no pressure in promoting this project. We have no moral risks, bringing partners in. Everyone makes money. This is exactly why we haven't rested for a single day since we started participating in ANTFUN, because we indeed understand this platform. Now let's look at the plan for the entire year of 26. So this year, we might focus on markets, including overseas, including Southeast Asia. You see, now with our Chinese style, under the leadership of this community leader, we are already in Indonesia. This Southeast Asian market, Vietnam, right, including Malaysia, almost blooming everywhere in Taiwan, right? And this year, you see, many members have already expanded to Milan, Italy, right? Once we get the MiCA license in Europe this year, we will be in Europe, covering all 27 EU countries to carry out business. We also hope Dr. Zhang will bloom everywhere in the future overseas markets, and then the market will remain continuously successful. So this year, we might focus more on the overseas markets. Therefore, the company's policy this year will also tilt towards overseas. So I think this is also a very good event. Now let's look at our platform's next layout in the banking industry. Then, the next method for the entire ANTFUN is through self-custody wallets plus new bank of our own digital currency bank. This bank is different from traditional banks. The financial business it does is not relying on loans or anything. What does it rely on? It relies on providing fiat to crypto exchange services for users. So this kind of digital currency bank is very developed in Europe, meaning it is already very popular now. And we will acquire a digital currency bank this year. By then, we will become a leading decentralized exchange platform across all categories in the blockchain decentralized track. First, what can we do on the ANT.FUN platform? Deposit money, because we have the W3 wallet, right? Very safe, W3 wallet. Second, we have many opportunities to make money in the primary market. You can also make money here, right? Third, what else is there to do here? You can also make consumer payments. It is like opening up the entire blockchain chain. So today, we can say we are truly fortunate to know this company. We can also have our own bank card from this bank of our company. At the same time, we also become shareholders of this company. Is that good? Very, very good. And this year, we expect our user base to break through 20 to 30 million by the end of the year. 50 to 60 million next year, 100 to 200 million the year after next. It is expected that in 2030, our global user installations are expected to break through 500 million to 1 billion. By that time, ANTFUN will become a $100 billion unicorn enterprise in blockchain. $100 billion. In other words, today, if a company does not have a long-term plan, a company without a $100 billion dream, if you say we accompany this kind of company, wanting to earn a few stars, earn a moon, that is almost impossible, right? Only with a company of $100 billion, which is a company with a market value of 1 trillion RMB, for us to make a few million in this company, isn't that very, very normal? So today you will find that those who promoted bio in the early days still have millions in income every year now. Let me show everyone a picture. This one is from a friend of a younger brother I met in Changsha. This is a Binance Exchange backend transaction fee commission, rebate, dividend, which means for them as Binance captains, there are dividends every quarter. Look at his. Can everyone count it? Over $1 million US. This is the current life status of those who promoted the Binance Exchange we talked about in the early days. So everyone doesn't need to be envious. No need to be envious, because today hasn't the same opportunity also fallen into our hands now. It is also the golden time point of 2017. Today, the opportunity to promote ANTFUN has also come to us. So whether we can grasp it this time depends on everyone's own, this understanding, or after listening to the future track of ANTFUN that I explained tonight. I hope that in the end, everyone on this ANTFUN platform can harvest the results they want. That is generally all for my sharing today. And then, next, I will hand over the microphone to our leader of the overseas market, Dr. Zhang.